Well, thank you, everyone. Welcome. My name is Mansoor Malik. I'm here with my colleague, Luis. We're going to be talking about Teams Premium. We're going to do some demos. And also, towards the end, I'm going to have Margie, my colleague, come up with our esteemed guest, Marcelo from Nestle. We'll talk about their journey about Teams Premium. Let's get started. So, Teams Premium, the smart place to work. We've been thrilled with the momentum that we've seen since the launch of Teams Premium as of last February. And thousands of customers like yourselves actually have bought Teams Premium. We thank you for that. And they are realizing the value or the financial value that they're getting out of the license purchases. Often, we actually have a Forrester study that is available, AKMS/Teams Premium TEI, that you can see about almost roughly 2 to 4x return on investment is being seen by those organizations, and then the business sort of justification is positive in first year. So why do we have such a great momentum? Well, any good product is made with customer obsessed passion that we have, and given the recent sort of shift in work with hybrid work, moving to hybrid, a lot of you or customers like yourself have been giving us feedback in terms of what works and what problems and pain points you guys have. Microsoft also does surveys, thousands of workers for our work trend index research. And the workers have been very clear in terms of telling us their pain points as well. The number one disruptor for their productivity is being in back-to-back meetings or inefficient meetings. They want tools that really help them to sort of focus on what matters the most. And about 80% or more, 81% enterprise have actually shifted to some sort of a hybrid workplace, which is awesome. Myself including really appreciates the working from home flexibility. But at the same time, it actually comes with a greater concerns by folks like yourselves, IT admins, because of it brings all the security concerns as well, and potentially information leakage for the companies. Whatever used to happen within the confines of one building, now you don't know because everybody's working from anywhere with a device, a laptop or a phone from anywhere. So security concerns become really big. Information workers are also taking 3 times more meetings or calls or interactions with either internal or external customers. So that they want to be able to have that sort of interaction to be more richer, more engaging, and more customized for their interactions. We've sort of listened to those pain points, we've looked at it, we've researched it, and we brought in Teams Premium. Laser focused on those pain points, and basically you can see Teams Premium has 3 different pillars: intelligent productivity, advanced protection, and richer engagement. This is just a short list of some of the capabilities that it actually offers today. We have quite a bit of value in here. We're going to be demoing some. And at the same time, we have a massive backlog now, thanks to all the feedback that we're getting from you all in terms of what works and what more do you want to see in Teams Premium. So I'll dive into some of these pillars. In the intelligent productivity, Intelligent Recap is one of the great productivity booster, one of my favorite features as well. And you'll see a demo video how Intelligent Recap is beneficial for everybody when they want to catch up on a meeting, or again, as I said, they want to focus on what matters the most. In that also, we'll address a question that I often get, which I also got in another session, is how does my organization think about Intelligent Recap in relationship with Copilot? Because obviously Copilot is also AI, Intelligent Recap is also AI. So we'll address that question as well. So let's take a listen to the video.
We all want to get to what matters more quickly. Sometimes that takes automation, and sometimes it takes inspiration. With Teams Premium and Copilot together, you get both. Teams Premium has built-in Teams experience with advanced capabilities that make collaboration more intelligent, secure, and engaging. Whether it's automatically applying the right protections to help safeguard sensitive content, providing real-time translations so collaborating is more productive for everyone, we're following up with AI-generated notes and easy-to-navigate recordings with automatically generated chapters and topics. Intelligent features are automated and standardized so that everyone in your team stays on the same page. Where Teams Premium enhances your teamwork, Copilot is your personal AI assistant. Use unique prompts to prep for your collaborative session by analyzing and synthesizing data across multiple sources. Take your insights and discovery to the next level by asking questions about the decision while it's happening. And after the meeting, Copilot can help you start on your deliverables. Teams Premium and Copilot for Microsoft 365 help unlock creativity and modernize work so you achieve more faster. It's better together.
So let's revisit some of the stuff that you've actually seen here, right? In terms of how does it look like from a licensing perspective. On the lower right side, you see Copilot, and you get, if you have a Copilot license, you obviously get Copilot across M365 surfaces between different apps like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, email, Loop, OneNote, and all that. But you also get what you see a little darker purple color is Intelligent Recap. So with Copilot license, Intelligent Recap also becomes available. If you only had Microsoft Teams Premium license, you do not get Copilot, of course, but you do get Intelligent Recap for the meetings. And in addition to Intelligent Recap, you also get a lot of those richer or customizability or customization capabilities, as well as the templates, the virtual appointments, advanced webinar capabilities, and lastly, the protection capabilities as well. And a lot of those, of course, the protection capabilities are also tied with your E5, if you have E5, with sensitivity label. And that's what we're going to show in a second, like how you can control those meeting options with the sensitivity label. So with that, I'll ask Luis to play a demo.
As Mansoor mentioned, over the last couple of years, the way in which people work together and collaborate has changed dramatically, to the point in which hybrid workspace is today the new normal. Mansoor previously shared that 80% of enterprises are now embracing a hybrid workspace. Personally, I enjoy a lot the flexibility that it gives me. Sometimes I work out of my Redmond office. Sometimes I decide that I'm going to be working from home because I can be more productive that way. While I enjoy the flexibility that this gives, I should also acknowledge that any organization or any IT admin that is concerned about the security, compliance, and protection of their information is now facing a new set of risks as a result of this change. On this slide that you are seeing right now, you can see the recent set of enhancements that we have put together and brought to market, trying to mitigate this set of new risks. We have features like watermarking, end-to-end encryption, preventing copy-paste, who can bypass the lobby, who can record, and who can present. All of these settings are controlled by meeting options. There's a wide variety of meeting options today. And in reality, most users won't spend time trying to figure out every single meeting option that is out there to try to protect their meetings. This poses yet another risk to organizations and IT admins. Having Teams Premium, we have two ways or possibilities for any organization or IT admins to try to mitigate this new risk. One of them is through the application of meeting templates. The other one is through the application of sensitivity labels. Every user that has a Teams Premium label today has the ability to leverage meeting templates to actually control some of these meeting options and get them locked. There are some of you out there that, besides having Team Premium, also have or are part of an organization that have already licensed or M365 E5 subscription. For all of those that do have this combination of Teams Premium plus E5, You can leverage sensitivity labels so that your IT admin can go and configure labels to lock some of the settings and make it so much easier for you to apply. During this demo, I'm going to show you the flows related to sensitivity labels. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the flow of creating and publishing a sensitivity label that controls certain advanced protection-related meeting options. And then I'm going to have a test meeting with Mansoor where I'm going to show you how these settings are actively enforced while we are participating in a meeting. So let's jump into the meeting. So I'm here in the Microsoft Purview portal. All sensitivity labels today I created in the Microsoft Purview portal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to the labels creation page. This is located under Information Protection Labels. In this page, we will see a list of all the sensitivity labels that have already been created by my organization. I will be able to see the scope that these labels have been assigned to. They can be files, emails, meetings, as well as their priority. So we can start the label creation wizard by creating a label or clicking on the Create Label button. When I'm here, I'm going to be asked for some basic information. Basically, it's going to ask me, hey, please provide the name of your label, please provide the description of your label, and please provide the priority of your label. So I'm just going to call it test. I'm going to set a test description. I'm going to go to the scope page. You can set the scope to be controlling items or be controlling groups and sites. For the purpose of this demo, I'm going to focus on items, and under items, we have a setting that is called meetings. So I'm going to make sure that meetings is enabled so that it allows me to control Teams-specific settings. I'm going to tell you that for all of those items, I really want to make sure that I can protect Teams meetings and chats, and I want to be able to set controls for the meeting options that can be associated to such meetings. I click on Next. In here, it gives me the list of different meeting options that I can control using the labels. I can use the checkbox to define what settings I want to have applied, and then I can go and select the multiple pre-defined options that are available for me to pick and apply for these labels. In this particular case, you can see I can define that lobby can only be bypassed by people in my organization or even organizers and co-organizers if I don't want anybody to join a meeting without having the organizer and co-organizer approve it at the time that they're trying to join. I can also control who can present. I can control who can record. I can control whether meetings are recorded automatically or somebody has to start the recording. I can also control end-to-end encryption, watermarks, meeting chat, and I can also control whether I want to allow for the meeting chat to be copied or not. So in this case, I'm just going to select a couple of options. So I'm going to select who can record, and I'm going to set it to organizers and presenters, and I'm going to select preventing copy chat to the clipboard. Once I have this option selected, it asks me for a few questions about files and emails out of the scope of this demo, so I'm just going to go and click Next. More configurations on groups and sites, configurations on schemized data assets, which are outside of the scope of this meeting. In the end, it just asks me, hey, review the settings that you are trying to get. Is this correct? If this is correct, just create a label. We have created a label. Once that we have the label created, what happens in here is we have to publish this label to a set of users within my organization. The label publishing flow will actually allow me to, leverage a pre-existing policy if there's one, or create a new particular policy. I'm going to say don't create a policy yet, just to show you the page where I can go and actually, publish a policy or a label. So let's say I created my test DNA label and I want to publish it. So I click on the label, I selected the label, and then I'm going to click on publishing. So once I'm trying to publish the label, it's going to ask me some questions about data that is required to create a policy. It's going to ask me, hey, what directory of users do you want to make this policy applicable to? Right? So I'm going to say, hey, the full directory of my test organization, all the set of users and groups. I could define a particular security group or limit it to a specific set of users. In some previous previous meetings, there was a question about, hey, what if I want to make a label only visible to certain set of users, like my C-suite in my organization, or perhaps my frontline workers or something like that. You can configure all of that in here. Then I go into settings. In this part of settings, I can control multiple things that are applicable to all the scope of the labels when it comes to policies, like files, emails, and so on. The interesting part in here when I set up a policy is I have control over certain settings that are very relevant. Like, for example, I can make it so that every single meeting in my organization has to be labeled. I can also make it so that every single time a person wants to downgrade a label, they are going to get prompted for a reason. Hey, why are you downgrading this label for this meeting from highly confidential to normal? Please give me a justification, and that justification is going to be available as part of your audit logs. So we continue to, next going through the wizard. It's asking me whether I want to set up a default label. Maybe, like I can always set up to have any of the labels that I have created to be the default label for all of my meetings. I continue, ask me about emails, which is out of the scope of this. I continue through the flow, and then it asks me to name my policy and enter a description. So in this case, I just enter a test description for the purpose and interest of time. And then this is it. It asks me to, hey, do you want to submit this policy? Yes, I want to create this policy. One thing to call out in here is that every single time a policy is created, in order for this policy to be distributed across your entire directory of users, it might take at least 24 hours. So that's it. We have created a policy. The next question is, okay, what does it look like when it comes to creating and scheduling a meeting? So I have pre-created a meeting with a label that I previously created that controls a couple of interesting settings. Easy way to identify who's who.
Oops.
Mansoor is using a Mac. It looks kind of yellow.
Very pale.
I'm using a Windows machine.
See,
It looks bright and beautiful.
purposely designed this demo.
So what is going to happen is it's time for the meeting to start. Well, it's a little bit late. So Mansoor is going to join the meeting. And we're looking at Mansoor on that screen. He's going to be joining the meeting.
I'll turn on my camera too.
He's going to turn on the camera. And great. So he's going to join the meeting. The first thing to call out.
Without audio, by the way.
Yes.
Don't want to cause any more troubles.
Is as part of this label, I set this label that controls that nobody can bypass the lobby. I have to approve every single person that is trying to join this meeting. You might be able to see in there that Mansoor is getting a message on the top that is saying, hey, hold on tight, the organizer has to add you to the meeting. I haven't joined the meeting yet, so I'm going to go and I'm going to join this meeting. So I joined the meeting, I'm the organizer, right? And I should be able to see that Mansoor is going to try to join. I have my video on, I'm just going to turn off my audio.
You want to turn off audio?
Yes, thank you. And then I...
Don't want to cause any echo here.
Yes, and then I join. Right? So I'm here on the meeting.
I'm still not in yet.
This is still not in yet.
Get me in.
I get a notification that the meeting is end-to-end encrypted because that's another option that I selected. If I look in the lobby, I can see that, hey, Mansoor is waiting on the lobby. So I'm going to approve him to be joining the meeting. So he's going to get admitted.
Ta-da!
So now he's on the meeting. A couple of things to call out that are happening here. As part of this sensitivity label, I set up this label to enforce the application of watermarks. You can see that the content is actually being watermarked. I also set up, this meeting to be end-to-end encrypted. If I go into the shield, I can get a legend that...
So Luis, I can take a screenshot of this, right?
I mean,
And
you
leak
can.
it?
You can leak it. Everybody's going to be able to tell that it is you, and you're going to get fired.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So
I won't do that.
Yeah, you probably don't want to.
Yeah.
So we are in here. I can see that the meeting is labeled. I can see that there's end-to-end encryption. If Mansoor clicks on the shield, he should be able to see the same codes in here, and that will actually confirm that the meeting is encrypted.
Ending at 15:33.
Yeah. Let's say that you want to change meeting options, or I want to change meeting options, right? I mentioned before that, hey, all these things are going to be locked. So neither the organizer nor the attendees are going to be able to fiddle with the meeting options that are pre-selected for the labels. In this case, I show you we are controlling lobby, so it's disabled. We are controlling copying of meeting chat. I haven't shown you that yet. End-to-end encryption is enabled, and watermark is enabled. So why don't we take a look at trying to copy pasting content from the meeting chat. So
I could send something.
So I'm going to send you a message. So the message is sent, so you're going to try to copy it. So yeah, he's not able to copy.
Due to policy unable to copy.
But what about me? Should I be able to copy it? No, I cannot copy because policies apply to all the users. So the controls that are being applied in here, prevent me from doing some stuff, prevent him from doing other stuff, and they cannot be manually changed unless anybody decides to change a label. In this case, if I decided to change a label, I would be prompted for a justification of why do you want to change this label, and then this description of why I decided to change the label would be audited. So that's it for this demo.
Yeah, so as you saw, as an IT admin or even a compliance officer, which sometimes in some of the orgs is sort of like the same organization within IT admin, can define these policies, whether it's controlling the copy paste, turning on watermark, turning on end-to-end encryption, or making the meeting very closed door, as if it used to happen closed door back in the office and back in the old days. So as the label gets defined, it can be attached to a template. That template can be pushed to a user that when they're organizing a meeting, they can use that template, or they can simply use that sensitivity label, and all of their meetings will be locked in according to that policy that Luis just described, or as an IT admin, you will define in there.
I created a meeting, and when I created a meeting, I added a label to the meeting to show you how I do that, right? So this is my new meeting window. In my new meeting window, I can come here to sensitivity dropdown, and I can select a label from the list of labels that are available for me to pick. In this case, I selected high confidential meeting. In the description for this label, I entered, hey, these are the controls that I have in there.
Luis' question, can a label be default applied to everybody as a confidential?
That is correct.
So that can also be done.
Yeah, I could actually set it by default that all the meetings are going to be labeled, and I can specify which label is the one that is going to be used.
As an organizer, you can go and change that label?
That is correct. So IT admins need to be very careful of how they decide to define the policies that are to be applied when creating labels.
The system gives you the flexibility of however you want to control it, but of course, it comes with some education as well that you need to give it to users. Mm-hmm. Yes, please. You need a Teams Premium license to be able to assign it. Only organizers need correct.
That is correct.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's one way to apply the label, and then I think we're pretty much out of time for my demo. I just wanted to show you. I apply the label. If I go to meeting options, I see that my label was selected, and some of these options are grayed out, so I cannot change them. The label will be only enforced if the organizer has a license. So by default, everybody would have their meeting stamp, but the label wouldn't take effect because you don't have a license.
So you saw the protection. There's a lot more value that is coming in our future roadmap, and as and when it's going to be coming in the coming months, it's going to get started. It's going to get announced. You can always follow the roadmap as well. So now let's go to the third pillar, which is richer engagement, and essentially another sort of changing dynamic of hybrid work is the importance of driving your business and brand through these richer experiences when your users are engaging or having those interactions with, whether it's one-on-one or large events or just any kind of external meetings as well. We know that the estimated annual spend for enterprises for advertising globally is almost like $1 trillion by some estimates. And with Teams Premium, there is basically it just presents another surface for your brand to be showcased or having that impression to be there, especially in those external interactions. So you can see, you can create custom backgrounds, you can create the entire experience end-to-end for the entire meeting lifecycle during the invite sent, or on a pre-join screen, as you see on the left side, as well as during the meeting and after the meeting. Similarly, a lot of those mesh scenarios or immersive experience that are still coming up can be branded as well for your meeting experiences. So again, that unique sort of brand and presence can be applied to your meeting. Similarly, if you have external meetings or webinars or events, large events or high quality events, we have lots of value in Teams Premium that allows you to sort of customize those events, especially starting again from sending those emails with infusing your brand in those emails, and just monitoring those emails or registration, as well as when the webinar starts, you want to be able to have those advanced production sort of capabilities to be able to present and have the users again focus what matters the most, and be able to just like focus on the content and present it. And then after the fact, when the event is over, you can get a nice sort of engagement report, so you can figure out what sort of generated the most sort of excitement, or could be something for a business to engage on or follow up on to create more leads. So that's again for external webinar case. Oftentimes we're also seeing, actually we're seeing a lot of growth in the information workers who actually also engage with customers as part of their day job. And some of those are folks that they do their day job in Teams, but they also at the same time take some customer calls, for example. And instead of taking the customer calls in another system, they like to do that in Teams because a lot of the information about customers is already there, and they're familiar with the interface for calls in Teams. To serve the need for that customer service and customer support scenario, we have now created a queues app within Teams Premium that is actually in public preview right now, and will be available soon. That allows those scenarios to be handled. So I'll just play a quick demo for that, or video for that.
As customer care continues to evolve, every customer-facing professional, from sales to service, requires tools designed to meet their changing needs. Introducing the Queues app for Microsoft Teams, a powerful addition to your Teams experience that extends the customer engagement capabilities of your organization. With the Queues app, your team can collaboratively handle customer calls quickly and easily within the flow of work. Users can monitor and respond to calls in their queues directly in Teams, eliminating app switching for seamless call handling. Built-in call controls enable more collaborative care, leading to faster resolution and happier customers. And users can make outgoing calls on behalf of the queue they're working on. But it's not just about calls. The Queues app gives leads the flexibility to assemble and manage teams and prioritize call queues. Whether opting in or opting out users, or utilizing delegated admin capabilities, they can optimize the experience according to performance and business needs. With the ability to monitor and coach users within the app, leads can boost competence and confidence. Additionally, real-time and historical reporting provide metrics that give users and leads insights needed to ensure quality customer care. No matter who you are in the company, every interaction shapes the customer experience. Let's make it extraordinary. Connect with your Microsoft representative today to learn how you can be part of this revolution.
So this sort of sums up Teams Premium. I know it was short of a time, but you saw there's intelligent productivity and advanced protection, the demo that Luis did. Thank you, Luis. As well as the external engagement and richer engagement. With that, the next thing I want to leave you with is the next segment, is the customer impact. So again, I'll play a demo, small video for how Dentsu is using Teams Premium And after that, I'd like to invite again Margie and Marcelo from Nestle to be able to just tell us their experience.
At Dentsu, we're entrepreneurs at heart and known for being great innovators. It's important as a large organization, which is across several countries, that our people with different culture can connect together, feel part of the same network, be part of one Dentsu. For me, in the world of unified communication, some of the challenges have been enabling our users to deal with the communication overload. We've seen that the rhythm of change is a lot faster, the pace of communication over chat and online meeting that it used to be. With Microsoft Teams being our main collaboration platform, Teams Premium and Copilot is used in Dentsu meetings. We can see that changing the experience from the start to end. With Teams Premium, you get your branding. You know you joined a Dentsu meeting. Once you started to be into the meeting, if users are talking into a language that's not yours, you can use premium AI captions to get a real-time translation so that you make sure you get the most content in the meeting.
Teams Premium help us with the language barrier. For example, I'm not like an English native speaker. I'm able to talk with my counterparts in Japan with like very technical discussions using Portuguese. So it helps and makes me like more secure to express myself and explain things.
If you joined a bit late, you've got Copilot. It can give you a summary of what's been discussed so far so that you're right away on track of things. Through the end of the meeting, then Copilot is asking you whether you want a summary of list of actions so that you can review it as a group and agree before closing the meeting. Finally, the meeting has ended, but perhaps you want to go back to listen to a specific part, and then Premium, then Recap allow you to go that really easily through chapters and you listen to what you would like to go back to. By having both Teams Premium and Copilot together, it unlocks Dentsu employee time. The combined value is they both bring different capability in Teams. Premium is essential for communication across different languages with real captions into meeting. It provides meeting recaps as well and brings further capability in terms of webinar, which is essential for our leadership, like reaching out to the employee base, but as well perhaps us running some webinar for our customers.
It gives to our people more what they need to be more successful and also be like creative.
So we see the future as being really bright with Microsoft, both in what we've already achieved and where we can go further in the spirit of partnership and brilliant outcomes for clients.
Awesome. With that, let's invite Margie and Marcelo up on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our fireside chat with Nestle on Teams Premium. I'm thrilled to have Marcelo here from Nestle to really share the insights from your pilot journey. So Marcelo, I know you traveled all the way from Italy, so first of all, thank you so much. How's the jet lag treating you, and how's your conference going?
So I'm okay. The jet lag is working. I mean, so far it's okay. It's nice to be here. I love the United States. There is a lot of food.
Amazing.
I love here. Italy is just a portion of food. Here is a bunch of food.
Us Americans love coming to Italy and having Italian food. So, all right. So now let's dive right into Teams Premium. So back in September, Mansoor and I had actually visited Italy to meet with Nestle and introduce Teams Premium, and it's been quite a journey since then. So, what capabilities really sparked interest for Nestle initially?
When you present that back in September in Milano, we were interested, of course, in the AI capability. As Mansoor mentioned, there is the difference between Copilot and Teams Premium, and we were excited about be able to use not only the AI capability, but we were excited to see what else Microsoft can provide. So we are enthusiastic because we want to participate on the roadmap. We want to participate on the strategy that you guys was working.
And how did your perception change or evolve over time?
It's been great. We work with majority of with the entire organization to make sure that everybody in different regions will be able to use the license and be able to explore all the capabilities. So we want that the users be able to identify the AI capability, be able to create the notes, but also we want to explore, for example, security part, as mentioned. So the security sensitivity label, we're very excited. The first thought was the security team, you love that. The branding stuff, We saw IT, corporate comms. We love that idea of having Nestle logos, Nestle brand pops up, and the people that's in the meetings or even interviews have that feeling to be participate on the call, that feeling of you are part of the Nestle as an organization. So we had that in mind that people would love that, but we make sure that even if we had in mind some scenarios or specific cases for specific departments, we keep that open to all users be able to explore.
Yeah, and that's actually a theme that we've been seeing with a lot of customers where, the top driver that sparks interest is usually intelligent recap and AI, but as they find out more about all of the other capabilities we have, there's interest across the board for security, branding, different departments, and different use cases. So where do things currently stand with your premium journey?
We are, 90% of the license has been assigned to the users. As mentioned, we want to democratize this to the majority of the region. So we have 4 regions in the company. We want to make sure all of them have the same amount of license. We would to spread to not only IT people, but real users. The first thought was IT needs to understand how it works to create the campaigns, to create guidance, and etc. But after that, we want to rear the real users, people that are in the business, in the sales, in the market, in the factories, what they can do with that, what the benefits they're going to see with AI. It's going to save times. How long the times they're going to save. We want numbers from that, but we want to make sure that everybody would be able, or the licensed user would be able to explore everything.
And how did you identify those users? Did they volunteer or did you select those users?
Both ideas. We select a few people, so we thought that would be important to participate. Then we have what we call the VIPs. So of course we had some special cases, VIP support and VIP, to guarantee that they will be able to be part of the pilot. And then we open the space to people or some areas. We want to focus in some areas. So let's give an example. We want that security to participate in. So we volunteer or we ask them to participate. Then we ask, okay, legal, who in the legal would participate? And we open the door to all the departments to participate in different countries, in different regions. And more important, we make sure that all the materials was also translated from different languages, because we really want to make sure the users would be able to identify and see the features and understand in their language how to do that. Because again, if I send something to someone that reads English, okay, fine. But if I'm going to use someone in the factory floors, we want that they will be able also to understand what features they can use.
Got it. So you really try to cover breadth of different users and personas in your pilot.
Yes, we created a matrix with the sensitivity label to identify everything about the labels. And then we create, okay, now we need to identify personas. And then we create a campaign based on that personas.
So what did you find the most effective in terms of educating end users about what all capabilities Teams Premium has and really making sure they benefit from all of the capabilities?
So one thing that we did was guarantee communicated. So we created campaigns, many of them. We run risk assessments, surveys, feedbacks to guarantee that we listen them. So we didn't explore all the capabilities in one shot. We split in waves. So the first wave, we apply AI capability. Then we create campaigns and create videos, posts in the workplace. We guarantee that the user will be able to identify them. In the next section, in the next week, we did the same thing. We bring the other topic from the last week, from the previous week, plus additional features. So in the end, we start with sections with 10 minutes, 15 minutes. In the last section, we have like more than an hour, exploring again and again. What we identified was we needed to communicate even something in the past, because we have always new users, new features, or people that didn't participate and participate on that next one. So we want to make sure we cover all the time, all the features.
Okay, makes sense. And you mentioned that you had to create some videos and things like that as well.
Yes.
Is there anything we could have done better as well in terms of providing documentation or having those videos for you?
Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends. I would say that Microsoft provide us the materials. We had the adoption with the Microsoft, so we participated close to, in that case, Microsoft in Italy that helped us to have many materials. But one thing that we identify in our company is that it's not only a web page. We need to educate them, and we have kind of internal applications that guide the users where they should, what kind of clicks that the user needs to do it for specific actions. So we work with that team to identify the potential scenarios. Then we work with agents to create campaigns, videos, posts to educate the users how to do it.
Okay, so more so some internal process that you already have in terms of creating videos and documentation for users, and then also you leverage Microsoft documentation as well.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. And then, of course, no pilot comes without any surprises. So what surprises, if any, or any challenges did you face throughout the pilot?
Can I say 3?
Sure.
First one, sensitivity label, because I was enthusiastic with the feature because I want to extend the sensitivity label and security in the company. But we realized that sensitivity label without some additional license, we were not able to bring that. So it's not only Teams Premium license, but also the E5 compliance license, which in our case we had it, so it was not a problem, but we're surprised that some users was not able to execute it because they didn't have that kind of license.
Got it. So maybe like better documentation to
Yes.
make customers aware that E5 is required for
I
sensitivity
think it's
labels.
already clear now.
Okay.
That's required that. And then the second one was that it's not easy to the user identify if they have Teams Premium. We use the Power Platform to create workflows to identify our users, communicate with them, send email, campaign, more important, a welcome message to tell, Margie, you have the license, enjoy, here's are the FAQs and where you're gonna find the meetings and sessions and etc. But the users says that, okay, it's thank you for the email, but where they can see that I have that.
Yeah, that's something that we're hearing from a lot of customers. We're taking that feedback and we're working on getting something out there.
Okay, good. I think that's it in terms of surprise.
Maybe now we move on to some of the questions that we hear from a lot of other customers where they don't know how to navigate Teams Premium and Copilot. So what was Nestlé's experience with both Teams Premium and Copilot?
We start both projects almost at the same time, but we were clear with the focus. 2 separate pilots, 2 separate populations, 2 separate teams working on. So was part of this, I was working in both projects, but we identify groups to be part of the Copilot and groups to be part of the Teams Premium. Of course, we have different personas as well. So we also identify the personas that is going to work in the Copilot and personas that wants to work in a Teams Premium. Both are, I would say, almost in the last mile. We are working with the right teams in Microsoft to make sure we can democratize the AI capabilities for the company. And we have a good feedback from both populations.
Okay. I know some information has to be confidential, but are there any insights you can share in terms of who you're thinking to license for Copilot versus Teams Premium, or any learnings you had from both pilots individually?
Yeah, so one thing that we identified was the timing, so the costing, the possibility to saving time. So in both projects, we see that kind of potentially, but in both cases. We identified that, of course, with the Copilot, there are more things behind that can help. But just the fact that you can summarize your meetings, have the notes, who participated, the actions, and etc. in the Teams Premium already bring a lot of benefits for majority of users. 88% of the company or the licensed users, 80% accept that they will. They want to pay for the license. If they have to pay, I would like to pay. Just to have that ability to recap the meetings.
To have automated recaps and summaries.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And then for members in the audience who are considering running their pilots, what advice would you give to them?
The first thing is that if you want to run pilot, Teams Premium, Pilot, or Copilot communicated. Awareness is the top priority things that we do in Nestle. We learn that without the campaign, without having feedbacks and survey, we just with IT feedback was not enough. We needed to identify what they can do, what the users can do, what their needs, not just with numbers, but with surveys. So we created a lot of surveys and feedbacks, forms, many ways to the users to tell us what they want to do it with that, what other capabilities, in that case, Microsoft could potentially bring to us. So, and as I mentioned, we had the Ask Me Anything sections many times. So we have 4 or 5 sections. So we want to make sure the users, we identify all those feedbacks and bring it, in that case, to you guys. That help a lot. And then not only with the feedback from Microsoft to say, yeah, we love this feedback, we want to put in place, but we could see what the users were trying to do. In the next session, we're trying to do better, involve more emails, more campaign, cascade. What else was pending? This pending, for example, translations to Portuguese. I'm a Brazilian, so the people ask me many things. But I don't know what to do because it's not in Portuguese. So we identify those kind of scenarios and bring people to translate materials, to identify some campaigns internally in the individual countries to help them to use.
Yeah, so it sounds like to really have a successful pilot, there's a lot more beyond just acquiring the licenses and assigning them. There's a lot more that goes into it in terms of communication, having surveys, really working with end users to understand if it's filling the gaps in for them and what more needs to be added. And I think that's what you guys did really well. So
yes.
It's great to hear a success story like that. And then lastly, any key results that you can share with the audience over here from Nestle?
So we are almost there. We are in the run. Nestle is excited with the capabilities that Microsoft is bringing to generative AI. We are confident that soon we'll be able to explore both Copilot and Teams Premium more wide open to our community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Marcelo.
Thank you.
And if there are any questions for Marcelo here as well, I'm happy to open up the floor.
I'll start with one, Marcelo. By the way, big thank you for Marcelo for coming up and telling us about their premium journey. One question, if you may, you in the pilot, were you able to quantify any productivity boost in terms of saving times or money or costs or anything like that from any of the users?
Yes. We were able to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Was there a specific, did they save time on through intelligent recap maybe or some other capabilities?
Yes, we had done many. We had help from third-party agents to help us in order to having a quantitative and qualitative feedbacks. So we were able to calculate more or less the time consuming, the saving time within Teams Premium and Copilot. Yes, we were able to do that.
Great, awesome. Yeah, because intelligent recap is a game changer for me. I save a lot of time. Again, thank you, Marcelo. Any questions for me, for Margie, for Luis, or Marcelo? We're here. Thank you again for attending the session. Yes, there's a question right there.
There's one guy there.
The Q's app, when will that be available and what is actually required?
Just to repeat the question, the Q's app, when will that be available and what's required for it to be used? I believe it's in private preview or public preview. I'm really sorry, I don't remember exactly. Do you know, Saranya, if it's private preview yet? But it's coming out very soon. It's actually some of the customers are already using it, and it does require premium license. Yes, sir.
Does it integrate with like ServiceNow or other help desk applications?
Don't know yet. Sorry. Probably need a connector. But I think even if it doesn't, I'm sure there will be use cases and feedback like yours is going to come and we're going to improve it. But if you send me a message in Hua app, I can connect you with Sean, who's our product lead for Q's app. Yes.
So we did a pilot for Copilot, 100 users, and then 100 users for Teams Premium.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lag time before when you turn that on for your users, like almost 24 or 48 hours. has Microsoft bridged the gap to make that a shorter period of time before it actually?
No, it is an issue. We acknowledge the issue. Like it takes about 2 days today after you provision a license to actually get this reflected in your organization. We're working on making improvements. So over the next 6 months, you should see that the time is drastically reduced.
I think from user perspective, we do have now, Margie, correct me if I'm wrong, we do have a notification that shows up that you have now been assigned a license.
Yes.
So that is there now.
Yeah,
But when,
the emails now come.
not just the email, but there's in the Teams app, there's a little modal dialogue. But I know we need to do much better, experience there, first-run experience for users as well, and we're working on that.
I think when you enable Copilot, it needs to build the semantic index, which always takes time, I guess, right? I think that's
so depends.
First Copilot license, it starts building your
I think Copilot is it depends. Like for example, for a meeting, it doesn't need to build the index. Like it's basically just taking real time. It's taking the transcript, and you can ask the questions right away. It's more about license assignment, as Luis mentioned. We need to do a better job there. Yeah.
There's also a device management section too as well, and that those users have to be in the updated frequently management instead of the 6 months updating your device as well. We have to move those people in those.
Most likely, probably, but
Yeah,
I'm not
not
aware.
an expert on that area.
Yeah.
But,
Lessons learned very good.
I see.
100 users.
I see. I see. Thank you again for coming. Thanks a lot.
yeah. Thank you, folks.